So I said, Marianne, don't you think that my husband is acting strange? And she got very defensive and said, how could you think such a thing? That I would ever lie to you about anything. The whole innocent friend, even with a tear in her eye. She's a great actress. She deserves an Academy Award. How could I be so stupid? I really didn't see that coming.
Did you really want to die when this happened?
The fact that my friend knew that she was going to hurt my family but did it anyway, I have a hard time with that. I begged her, find love somewhere else, from someone else. It just isn't right.
She never expected that in 10 million years.
What did her best friend's husband have to do with it?
She was really, really heartbroken.
Was any of this revenge?
I don't want to go into details of that because I don't think it's necessary.
My own friend had an affair with my husband. I feel like I should have defended myself, defended my family, defended my marriage. I was like the child whose dog got run over by a car and nobody wanted to tell me. I remember so clearly my friend sat across from me with our children playing beside us on the floor, comforting me. She put her hand on my arm and said, I don't know where you find the strength. Marianne and I were good friends. She was my confidant, somebody who understood what my concerns were in my marriage.
Shania Twain says she was blindsided when her husband of 14 years asked for a divorce.
I was definitely shocked. Mutt was my partner in every sense. It really hurt.
But shortly after Mutt asked Shania for a divorce, she learned the truth.
I did discover the affair with my wife and Mutt in a quite concrete way. I said, guys, now you have to tell her. This is ridiculous. And they didn't want to do it, so I had to tell her. She gave them the benefit of the doubt immediately.
You're wrong. I'm telling you, you're wrong. She's not having an affair with Mutt. And when I asked her the direct question, when I said, what is going on? Then she got very defensive and said, how could you think such a thing? That I would ever lie to you about anything. The whole innocent friend, even with a tear in her eye. And that was it. I lost it. I crashed down and became what I consider an emotional mess. I was just so miserable.
You say you were ready to die when you found out about Mutt and Marianne.
I just wanted to go to bed and never get up.
So after that, your voice went into full shutdown mode.
Raised in poverty and abuse, Shania quickly learned to hide her feelings in order to survive.
The house is shaking and there's pounding and yelling and screaming and crying. And you know, when you're little, you don't even really know what's going to happen. You just know it's really bad.
The night your stepfather was beating your mother and you walked in, and she was lying on the floor in front of the toilet, him dunking your mother's head in the toilet. When she came up, there was this piece of toilet paper
stuck to her. That moment for me was the moment that I screamed and expressed every bit of suffering and pain and sadness and anger that I had, because I thought she died. I thought I lost my mother at that moment. It was the last time I ever did it. I needed to be strong for my mother.
My mom, she was sad a lot, and she didn't know how to survive. But the one thing that my mom was passionate about was music.
But I've got to be a singer because my mother needs me to be a singer, because my mother lives for that.
Shania's voice caught the attention of music producer Mutt Lange.
He called me up and said, look, there's a quality in your voice that I really like. And he said, you know, we really should get together and see what we can do.
When they met, sparks flew.
We met and got married within 6 months. As husband and wife, as friends, musically. We are each other's inspiration.
Little did she know, her perfect husband had secretly betrayed her with her best friend.
When I found out about the affair, I was in real shock. There were days when I really just was like, you know, I don't even really care if tomorrow comes. It was extremely, extremely painful.
Just like when she was a little girl, Shania tried to be strong despite all her pain.
All through my life, I've controlled how I've expressed my emotions. Not because I didn't feel them, I felt them very deeply, but I certainly suppressed how I expressed them.
But burying her pain only made it worse.
Well, my fears and anxieties throughout my whole life had been slowly squeezing my voice, and I started losing my voice, and I didn't associate the two together. The feeling you get when you want to cry, but you fight it and you get all choked up. It's as if now I permanently have that feeling.
There was only one person who could understand Shania's pain.
Were you as shocked by your wife's alleged betrayal as she was by her husband's?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were?
I absolutely didn't expect it at all.
The person to comfort me was Fred, because he's been through the exact same thing.
We really help each other through the whole process.
Can't we just do some things on our own?
But why? Why do you have, to always be strong?
I ended up reflecting on my whole life. That put my divorce in perspective. I just need to take it one page at a time.
With Fred's help, Shania was finally able to work through the feelings she had suppressed for so long.
There was a time that I felt quite angry that I spent 14 years in a marriage. 14 years of my prime years, I sort of felt, But what I've come to accept and be quite peaceful about is that it's beautiful just the way it was.
The more time I spend with her, something happened in me that I did not, expect. I fell in love with her.
I just feel so entirely loved. I've never been supported this way in my life before. What can I say? I just have this amazing relationship that's come out of something very difficult.
And after facing her own trauma, Shania's voice returned, this time stronger than ever.
I have learned a lot through recovering my voice.
Have you forgiven?
Yes, I have forgiven. You just have to move on and carry on.
After 11 years, she's finally working on an album of all new music.
My goal is to try and live through it with grace and forgiveness and acceptance. We are throwing caution to the wind and saying, all right, life, if this is my moment, then here I am.